Hey guys, Oggs here from the US. Thank you for watching, and today is the second episode on my series of Justice for Michael. Yes, to understand this second episode, you have to go back to the first episode that I explained everything about Michael Emenalo and what his job was at Chelsea, what he did, and all that. So please, I will leave the link in the description so you can go and watch that episode first before you understand this one. Well, today I am going to analyze what Rory and Sophie Rose from CFC Fan TV said about Emenalo when he left. Let's listen to Rory and Miss Sophie Rose.
Hello everyone and welcome to CFC Fan TV. Now we have some breaking news for you, and that is that Michael Emenalo has left Chelsea Football Club after 10 years with us. What do you think?
I think this day's been a long time coming. I'm really pleased. I think that you can have the conversation about did he do good at the club, has he done badly at the club, but I mean ever since the day that he was appointed and he took over from Ray Wilkins and he was told by it was suggested by Abramovich that he should sit on the Chelsea bench, he hasn't been particularly popular with me.
Well, let me remind you, Mr. Rory, because you are not popular in the Chelsea community around the world for what you said about them. They are not relevant if they don't go to the bridge and all that. So, if Michael wasn't popular with you, and you have also to mind your business and know that you are not popular in the Chelsea community. I defended the guy for a certain issue that he was having online, but when he pronounced from his mouth and say that if you are not coming to the bridge and then you are not a Chelsea fan or it's not relevant, it doesn't count, that hurt me, and I didn't really back that particular point, even though he was making some good point during the entire discussion. So take a look what Rory said at the time.
Rory, just being honest, you're not making a good argument. He isn't a Chelsea man. You need to clarify.
But that means something. The people who don't get that aren't Chelsea men. Anyone who is a Chelsea man understands exactly what I'm saying. People who go to Chelsea, something. Look, I'm not an orator. I'm not like the most articulate man in the world. I'm a football fan. So when people go, "Oh yeah, you didn't make your case well," yeah, mate, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I'm just telling you, if you don't see the problems with Sarri, you aren't a Chelsea man either. So anyone who's going, "Oh yeah, pro Sarri," you've probably never been to Stamford Bridge, mate. So your opinion is not relevant.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Going, "Oh yeah, pro Sarri." You've probably never been to Stamford Bridge, mate. So your opinion is not relevant.
Oh, I don't know about that. You see?
Yeah, you heard it. According to Rory, if you don't agree with him, your opinion doesn't count because he's always right. And if you never been to the bridge and then your opinion doesn't count, you're nobody, you are not a true blue. So let me tell you something, Mr. Rory. International audience is making Chelsea who they are today. They participate in Chelsea budget 80 to 90%. Don't think that the little ticket that you will pay to the bridge or go somewhere else to watch the game is not that is contributing to the budget. But us from outside UK, everywhere, my brother in Nigeria, Somalia, South Africa, Brazil, China, Hong Kong, everywhere, they are doing everything they can to keep Chelsea up there. Buying merchandise, subscription to Chelsea TV and all that. The commercial deal is from overseas. So you have to learn a little bit about the Chelsea, the new Chelsea, which is international brand, and stop discriminating other fans.
And
He's not popular with a lot of the fans actually, but I think let's start off with the good that he's done. signings like
you want to do
Hazard.
that?
Yeah, let's start off with the good and then we'll go into what the majority of you lot think. But let's get the good out of the way because it's quite short. But he's responsible for signings like Eden Hazard, arguably, well, I mean, I would say Kante's our best player, but yeah, I mean, many fans would say that he's...
I think Hazard is obviously... He's a wonderful football player who's going to win a Ballon d'Or. Of course, Michael Emenalo being at the forefront of our transfer negotiations when that signing was concluded, he deserves some credit there.
Yeah, playing down the role of Michael Emenalo for the coming of Eden Hazard and try to, because he been there, participate in the negotiation, so yeah, he deserves some credit, but in reality, not giving him any credit at all, and you can tell.
If I'm going to try and find a Michael Emenalo highlight, I'd probably go for, I think Courtois was a great discovery, but Cesar Azpilicueta for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think £7 million from Marseille. I think, you know, if Emenalo, although he bought that transfer home, if he actually sourced it and discovered Azpilicueta himself, then it's excellent. It's an excellent bit of business. But overall, his impact on the club overall, not only the players and things like that, but the way that his presence ricocheted into the support and into the stands, him being out of the club is only good news.
Okay, again, playing him down and minimizing the role he played. You can tell by his body language. Let me remind you something. De Bruyne, Lukaku, Courtois, Musonda, Ampadu, Kante, David Luiz, Oscar, Ramirez, Mata, Diego Costa, Hazard, Fabregas, Pedro. Man, I can go on and on just to remind you that it wasn't only Azpilicueta.
He's been sacked.
Right.
I'm almost certain that that's what's happened. I know that Abramovich holds him very close, though. He's one of the few people I think that Roman Abramovich will take advice from.
Well, I mean, if somebody's going to be at a club Chelsea Football Club for 10 years, bear in mind we don't seem to hold down a manager for that long, then he's got to be doing something that Roman likes. And like I say, he has made some really good signs. If you're talking about David and Hazard, they're probably... I mean, him with Kante, I think probably...
I could play this game with you if you wish, Soph. For every time you put forward an Eden Hazard, a Thibaut Courtois or a Cesar Azpilicueta, I can throw back a Papa Djilabodji, a Michael Hector.
Felipe Luis, where was he?
Atletico, yeah.
Actually, one of our, if I'm going back to sort of one of our worst signings, he was, well, I'm gonna say Falcao. was he bad? Was he not that bad? I'm gonna say Falcao because that just made...
It made very little sense.
Whoa. I will stop you right there, guys, because this is a fake news. Because there are players that Emenalo bought, and some of them bought by Mourinho. If you count Falcao and Philippe Luis as Emenalo buys, it's not true. Because we know what Mourinho wanted. He wanted Falcao. And he wanted Philippe Luis and Fabregas and Diego Costa. So, when it comes to director of football, they have to work together with the coach. So the coach gets some players and the director also recommends some other player. But with Mourinho, it's his word or nothing else. Djilabodji, it was the last minute after failing to buy John Stone. It was the last minute panic. We bought Djilabodji, we bought Hector, we bought Miazga from New York Red Bull. And guess what? Djilabodji didn't even play a competitive game at Chelsea. Played like 1 minute of preseason. He was shipped on loan. After the loan, we sold him for 10 million after buying him for 2 million from Nantes. Great piece of business. Chelsea never spent any money to pay him or anything because he was paid on loan, and Chelsea just made a great piece of business. And if you only give negatives here, how about more than 100 players that he brought for the first team and the academy and the loan army? I mean, he also has the right to make a mistake at some point. Maybe buying Pato, or Falcao. Just let's accept that he bought those players. He has the right. He earned the right to make a mistake, just like other people. Okay, if you go to Real Madrid, they bought James Rodriguez. It didn't work out. He'd been shipped on loan here and there. They bought Michael Owen, and there was a lot of people playing in his position, and he was sold to Newcastle. So there are so many reasons to why the team is not using certain player. Not necessarily that they are bad player, but because the coach didn't like them or they don't fit the system and all that. Barcelona, Yeremina from Colombia, Malcon, Fabregas, Sanchez, why they sold them? Not because they are crap, just because they didn't fit the system, right? So if you think outside the box, you will see that every business that Emenalo did paid one way or another, on the field or in the business aspect.
Emenalo leaving the club now is only good news, and do you know what I think it signifies, which is massive? This is about to make me very happy. I think that what this proves is that the club are backing Antonio Conte.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Oh, do you know what I feel like? I feel like that little emoji, that.
Please don't do that.
That's how
the
happy.
halo.
That's how. No, the one, the two hands that are like that. That's how happy I am about this. Because whatever happens at Chelsea Football Club, whatever's going on, the only thing that I'm interested in is keeping Antonio Conte and keeping him happy.
Yeah.
Whatever has to be done, we have to keep Antonio Conte happy. And I mean, down to, I love David Luiz. Anybody who watches this channel knows how much I love David Luiz. The geezer won a Champions League for us on one leg. Basically won the Champions League playing with one leg fit and one leg completely lame. I love him forever. I think he's an incredible man to have around the club. I cannot express how much I love him. I was so happy when we re-signed him. However, if there is a thing here, if there is a Conte versus David, there is only one winner.
Yeah, it's Conte.
And it's Antonio Conte.
Well, yeah,
we have to do everything we can to make that man want to stay at Chelsea and to make his time at Chelsea as successful as possible. And if there's an issue, and if this is the man that has to be sacrificed to keep Antonio Conte happy, then
that's what has to be done.
And guess what? The club never backed Antonio Conte, right? So that's what he said. That's his assumption, was that when Michael leaves, and then Antonio Conte will have all the control and buy all the player that he wanted. What happened? Nothing. And another thing he said is like, you have to do anything, even to fire all other players or to do whatever it takes to keep Antonio Conte happy, because we can't afford to lose Antonio Conte. So for me as a Chelsea fan, I think you should protect the club instead of individual. Players, coaches, everybody will go, but the club will remain forever. And then if you have to protect one person, and then how about the future? If you protected Sarri or Antonio Conte, guess what will happen now? Callum Hudson-Odoi will never make it at Chelsea. Robin Loftus-Cheek will never ever make it to Chelsea. Mason Mount will never make it to Chelsea. Tammy Abraham, and you name them, because why? The proof is there. You have Chalobah, but you wanna buy whatever, Zappacosta or other players. Why not give the kid a chance? If you wanna watch more, go to my first video. I explain all this. So this is what was going to happen if the club bend over and listen to everything that any coach going to say. We were going to have Andy Carroll, Peter Crouch in the Chelsea team, because those are the kind of players that Conte wanted at the time. He wanted Nangolan, but Emenalo got him N'Golo Kante. You see what I mean? So Rory sometimes contradicts himself. One day, we have to back Antonio Conte and give him whatever he wants, and there is one winner and only Antonio Conte and blah blah blah. But when Antonio Conte fired Diego Costa and then he turned against Antonio Conte, can you see the contradiction here? Take a look.
Since Diego Costa left,
totally agree.
Set the fucking tone that yous were the bastards that could play.
Everything
and
about
he was
it
that.
Brilliant.
He solidified Chelsea.
Yeah. He was Diego Costa. I love Antonio Conte, and I always will. But one area where he got it wrong, when you have a player like Diego Costa in your midst, you have to do everything to preserve him. So if he's not happy about something, make him happy. Just do whatever it takes. Antonio Conte took a different approach.
You're wrong.
Texted him, said, off you go. There is only one winner.
Yeah, it's Conte.
And it's Antonio Conte.
Well, yeah.
We have to do everything we can to make that man happy. You have a player like Diego Costa in your midst, you have to do everything to preserve him. So if he's not happy about something, make him happy. Just do whatever it takes. Antonio Conte took a different approach.
You're wrong.
Texted him, said, off you go. And we've never recovered. But Diego Costa was everything brilliant about Chelsea. He was probably a better striker than Didier Drogba for us. He
wants his options brought in, has sort of had a major effect on it, and then it's all come to a head.
He's completely responsible for all of that loan system as well, which, I mean, aside from Andreas Christensen is the one example of that working.
Well, we currently have the best. We currently have the best youth academy. The problem is that we don't bring our youth through to our first team, which is why a lot of you fans don't like him.
Okay, so here, misleading people again. The loan army, the system. What do you want him to do? He brought all the best youngsters in the world, made the best academy in Europe, winning every competition for almost 7 years. And nobody, the so-called top managers that we had in the past, they don't want to use the kids. What do you want him to do? He came with an idea to let them go on loan and get more experience, but also the club getting money. The minimum of what Chelsea is making from the loan army is 50 million, and that is just the minimum. 41 players on loan. Some of them get 1 million, some of them 2 million, 3 million here. Even Zuma lately 8 million, 6 million just for the loan fee. So, contributing to the budget of the club, right? What is wrong? He's not the coach. I bring you the best youngster. You call them name. You don't want to use them. What do you want him to do?
The problem with him and why people don't like the youngster thing is a huge thing. When you send out our really young players on loan who have come up through the academy and whatsoever, that's a huge problem. Fans don't like that. And secondly, they don't like it when we bring in really, really pointless signings. I know lots of clubs make bad signings, but Papi Diliboji or whatever it was, or Felipe Luis, these players really didn't last very long at all. Matt Miazga, where did he go? He's sort of gone. Like, there's quite a lot of players that have just drifted, and really those sort of signings never ever needed to be made. And I think a lot of us can see that. So I think that's probably why a lot of fans aren't. Let us know.
Well, like I said, they were just trying to find somebody to blame about the situation, but you can blame the board for hiring coaches that don't really fit the vision of the club, because why would you buy all the talent and not using them? And then from there, blame also the so-called top managers that we had, because they had a opportunity to give few of the youngsters some game times, or try to adjust a little bit their system to fit what they got. But when they come to the job, they want to win something immediately, and they want to buy any player right now that will fit their system instead of using what they have. So Emenalo is innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. He brought a lot of money to the club and a lot of good player, and a lot of success that we have today. Justice to Michael. The next episode is coming. Please wait on that. Subscribe, like the video. Keep an open mind. God bless you, and see you in the next one.